Welcome to DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. He's Corey Mose, I'm Jeff Jones, and for the first time this season, we finally saw Texas do what they were supposed to do against a non-conference opponent. The Longhorns hosted Sam Houston State today, and the number one storyline coming into this one was obvious. Would Arch Manning look like Arch Manning? You know, entering this season, fans thought this is the guy who has the confidence, the competence, and the cannon to lead us to a championship, but he had plenty of misfires so far this season until he shook them off today.
Yeah, and that's why time was of the essence today, Jeff, because this was the last kind of get-right game for the Longhorns before going into SEC play. So, of course, you wanted some type of hope if you're a Texas fan to know that this Texas offense can do something consistently, and they showed it today. And so to see it, let's get the highlights going. Now, it wasn't just Arch was a storyline. Texas was without their top two running backs. So the young guns, Christian Clark and Jared Gibson, along with James Simon, were expected to tote the rock. It felt like a tryout for third on the depth chart, and Gibson made his case early in this one. They call him Baby Rhino, but he looked like a grown man on that run, putting the first points on the scoreboard. Now, after a second 3-and-out by Sam Houston, it was Arch Manning's turn to bully the Bearcats. We've seen this story before. Arch using his legs for 6. Then watch this. He stares down the defender like a parent whose kid is acting up in church.
I know that look.
Yeah, you don't got to say nothing, right? You just know you're in trouble. I'm sure Sam Houston knew that by the second quarter. Arch, play action. He locates Jordan Washington, who's uncovered like the food I left out last night. Texas up 21-0. First career touchdown by Jordan, by the way. It turned into a 30-piece right before half, and Arch put on some extra sauce in the bag. Somebody cue the lights. Texas scored again. UT puts up 55, as I'm sure Texas fans are happy to see Arch looking like Manning again.
Yeah, you know they are happy, but I think that they have to have some questions. I definitely do, at least. We have a crew that's actually in the press conference room right now with Steve Sarkisian asking him questions, and I know one of the topics they're going to talk about is Arch actually back?
Yeah.
You know, Arch looked as good as he's looked all season tonight, but from my vantage point, he didn't look like the Arch that we saw last year. He did connect on that 53-yard touchdown to Ryan Wingo. We saw a few passes over the middle to Wingo and to DeAndre Moore Jr., but I saw a couple of underthrows. Some were caught, and in previous weeks this season, they wouldn't have been caught, so that's a step in the right direction, but I don't know that he is all the way back to what he used to be or all the way SEC ready. I think that our crew in there is also going to ask Coach Sark about that running back battle that you mentioned. The young guys on the roster had a chance to show their stuff today, so what did Sark see from his vantage point? Who took a step forward? And I know a part of the team that definitely took a huge leap forward was the defense. We mentioned the first shutout of the season today, 55-0, and at halftime, the defense, through 2 quarters, only allowed 17 yards to Sam Houston. The defensive performance, give me that sound again. It was nasty. It was nasty. They are definitely SEC ready. I think all season long, this team will be in every game because the defense is never going to let them out of it.
Yeah, they look phenomenal defensively, and you finally got to see the sacks. They came alive. The defensive ends, Colin Simmons got one on the first play of the game. Crazy how that works. Trey Burke did his thing as well. So it was definitely cool to see that defensive line finally showing up when it comes to rushing the passer. And also, you mentioned about Arch, is he back? I like the stare down. I know we talked about that earlier. You may not have liked it, but I think that's something that Arch needs to kind of get his swagger back. And the other thing I want to hear them ask in the press conference, specifically to Arch, he had headphones on doing warm-ups.
Yeah, a change.
He never does warm-ups with headphones on. So why the change, and did it help? It looked like it today.
Yeah.